different corners of the world, two very different climates, yet both trembled beneath the same mysterious power. In the frozen northern expanse, the land stretched endlessly, a vast tundra of jagged ice and snow-packed valleys. The air here was razor-sharp, biting against exposed skin, each breath a cloud of white mist. Far from civilization, the northern government had established a heavily fortified outpost, a dark silhouette of steel and stone carved into the edge of a frozen canyon. Its walls gleamed faintly under the pale light of a sun that never fully rose, a sun trapped in permanent twilight. Inside the outpost's central excavation chamber, northern soldiers moved with precision and discipline. They wore layered uniforms of dark earthy browns, deep chestnut, burnt umber, muted beige, with reinforced plating designed to endure the harshest cold. Steam hissed from nearby generators as workers carefully unearthed fragments of Zillorite embedded deep within the permafrost. The fragments glowed a faint orange beneath their dark red surfaces, their unnatural warmth creating small pockets of mist as they met the freezing air. "Handle it carefully," barked Captain Ilrek, his voice carrying the authority of a man used to commanding in dangerous conditions. "These fragments are heavier than they appear, and more dangerous than you realize." 4 soldiers, straining under the unnatural weight, lifted a reinforced containment crate onto a hover sled. Their movements were slow, deliberate, sweat beating beneath their heavy gear despite the icy wind. The faint hum of the Zillorite fragments resonated through the chamber, making the very walls seem to vibrate. Above, from the command platform, Ilrek's gaze swept the excavation site. The northern government had claimed these lands for centuries, but this was something older, something the ice had hidden until now. And though he didn't yet understand it, he could feel the weight of history pressing down upon them, far to the south, in a realm where heat and life were overwhelming. A completely different discovery was unfolding. The eastern jungle was alive with sound. The steady hum of insects, the chattering of distant monkeys, the heavy rustle of broad-leafed plants shifting in the warm wind. Sunlight filtered through a dense canopy, breaking into golden shards that danced across the mossy jungle floor. The eastern government's outpost, a sprawling compound built of timber and stone, rose amid this chaotic beauty, hidden beneath the emerald sea of towering trees. Unlike their northern counterparts, eastern soldiers wore lightweight fabrics, patterned in deep earthy browns and greens, blending perfectly with the environment. Their armor was minimal, designed for speed and agility rather than brute endurance. Sweat glistened on their foreheads as they worked tirelessly under the punishing sun, carefully removing fragments from the soft soil of an ancient, overgrown ruin. The Zillorite here looked the same, dark red, with molten orange veins, but the jungle seemed to respond to it differently. Vines quivered, and nearby pools of water rippled as though stirred by invisible hands. A low hum filled the air, mingling with the drone of insects, setting everyone's teeth on edge. "Quickly," shouted Commander Vera, her voice sharp with urgency. "The fragments must be secured before nightfall. The jungle is not our ally." Soldiers lifted the crates onto flat wooden sledges pulled by small, engine-driven haulers. The heat shimmered above the operation, distorting the edges of the scene like a mirage. Every now and then, one of the soldiers would glance toward the tree line, unease written plainly on their face. For here, in the eastern wilderness, nothing ever watched alone. As night fell, both outposts, north and east, burned with torchlight and generator hum. Though separated by thousands of miles, their actions were eerily mirrored, stacking crates of glowing fragments, recording strange readings in hastily scribbled notebooks, and exchanging uneasy glances with one another. Neither government knew of the other's discovery. Neither suspected that they were now part of a larger chain of events stretching far beyond their understanding. And beyond the reach of both factions, forces were stirring. In the eastern jungle, a pair of golden eyes blinked in the darkness, watching the outpost silently. Its owner crouched low, blending into the undergrowth, silent, patient, deadly. In the frozen north, deep beneath the ice, something stirred, a rumbling so low and ancient that it seemed to come from the bones of the earth itself. Soldiers paused their work, their breath hanging in the frigid air. But when the rumble faded, they told themselves it had been nothing, just the ice settling. They were wrong. Far away, atop a waterfall-carved terrace in Central America, Biohm stood alone on his estate, his dark gaze fixed on the horizon. He could feel it all, the imbalance, the fragments, awakening. His connection to the natural world told him the truth, long before word could ever reach his ears. The fragments had been found. The balance was breaking, and soon the world would remember why Zillorite had been buried in the first place.